I'm Sally Quinn. I'm a journalist. I work for the Washington Post. I was hired by Quinn Bradlee, the editor of the Post, who later became my husband. And I am the proud mother of Quinn Bradlee.
My name is Quinn Bradlee. I'm the founder and CEO of Friends of Quinn, and I'm the author of A Different Life, Growing Up with Learning Disabilities and Other Adventures.
Your website is for young adults with learning disabilities, and you're now 35. You're going to have the same issues all of your life. There's no cutoff. At 36, you don't magically stop having these issues.
It's, like being a cancer survivor. Once you survive through cancer, that doesn't mean you're never gonna, help people with cancer again. Once you take care of your problem, then, you're gonna help other people with that same problem.
People go through stages of grief when they find out that there's something wrong with their child. And, there's anger, there's disbelief. Ben was much more ready to say, there's nothing wrong with him and he's fine. And I even remember once when I had gone to the hospital and had the diagnosis, and I came home and I told Ben, and he said, I just don't believe it. There's just nothing wrong. I called the doctor on the phone in another room and I said, would you call the house? And he called the house and I said, Ben, it's for you. And I gave Ben the phone, he put it in, the doctor said, this is Dr. So-and-so, I just wanted to let you know that here's the problem with Quinn. And only then would he accept it.
My idea for Friends of Quinn came to me about 8 years ago. I wanted the name to feel like a safe haven and to let other people know that they're not alone with dyslexia, or if you have any type of learning difference.
When you started your website, your motto was own it, and you have never been ashamed of it. You've never been embarrassed by it.
I've always embraced it.
That's right. So why have you felt that way, so open about it? Why have you been so open? And why is it important for other people to be open about it?
Well, I've felt open about it because of my parents, because of you. And, I really, truly think and believe that if your parents are supportive, you can overcome. It's better for you to embrace it instead of to fight it.
It is really, really important for parents to maintain their own marriage and their own relationship. We would try to go out at least once a week and just have dinner on our own. I mean, I guess you call it date night, but it was just trying to make time for ourselves and our relationship, because that was huge. And the other thing that really worked for us is family dinners, and to bring Quinn into our lives. And he loved, loved, loved having dinner. We were talking about our lives and telling stories, and it made him feel important and respected and loved.
One of my favorite stories that I tell people is that, I couldn't really properly speak, I guess, until I was about 14 or so. But that one time we went to Paris and there was a Lamborghini, and I said Lamborghini Diablo flawlessly without a problem.
Well, you couldn't read.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I was doing was I was giving you magazines that had pictures of things that you might be interested in.
Yeah.
And I knew you were interested in cars from a very early age, but you just devoured these magazines. I thought, well, at least there's writing on the side, maybe he'll pick up something. When Quinn was about 18, you discovered Ancestry.com, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to you, because you became a genealogist.
I became obsessed with it.
Yeah. The thing that has been so miraculous is that you actually learned to read on Ancestry. And not only that, but you've educated yourself, because as you trace the family history back, you also learn the history of the times, and the geography, and the religion, and the music, and the art. And so you've become a real historian.
Well, I think it can give a person confidence just if you know where you come from and who you are, and and I think it can really help you understand why it is you do the things you do, especially for people with dyslexia.
When Quinn was about 8, we had taken him to see the child psychiatrist who was working with him. So she did some cognitive testing on him. It was a disaster. The tests were a disaster. And she said, he will never go to high school. He will never have a job. He will never have a relationship. And he will never be able to live a normal life. And I just completely fell apart. I mean, Ben had to carry me out to the car. And I just sat there and cried and cried and cried. Then I got home and I suddenly got really angry and I thought, she is just wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Ben always used to say to Quinn, of all the people I've ever known in my life, I admire you more than anyone else because of your courage and your persistence and the fact that you will never give up. And when he went to high school, the math teacher said to us, you know, Quinn, some people can get math and some people can't. Quinn is just one of those who can't, and we'll just have to deal with it. And at the end of the year, Quinn won the math prize for the person who had improved the most over the year. And all along, people have counted him out. And all along, he has confounded people by doing things that no one ever thought he could do. When he graduated with honors, and everybody was stunned. And I never counted Quinn out for a minute, and I think that's really the most important thing. He's written 2 books, and he's just produced a movie about his father, and I can only see him getting better and stronger and happier as the years go by. I'm just enormously proud of him.